Welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. You know, Alec Baldwin once, or excuse me, not Alec. It was, let me correct myself. I'm starting off my own video with a bad quote. James Baldwin said, "The most dangerous creation of any society is the man who has nothing left to lose." But in reality, I think it's also the man that has everything to lose. You know, if he's going to be protecting his well, I don't know, if he's protecting his family and his loved ones and he's going to take away people that are threatening them, he's got definitely reason to fight, right? To fight back against whatever's holding him back. But when a man doesn't even have the family and he doesn't have kids and the rest of it, there's nothing left for him to even love or care about. And that's when it's time to, you know, maybe go hog. And this is a video about a guy that really seems to have nothing left to lose. And he just ran out of F's to give, and he decided to do something about it. The reason why I think this is an important video is, number one, it's going to show you when people kind of get fed up, what can happen. And then I'll talk a little bit more about how it reflects to today's society. So this is from the Daily BS from Bo Snerdley. He says, like a movie scene, 77-year-old motorist ends the lives of two people, protesters, blocking traffic. You guys have seen these oil protesters going around smashing up paintings and spraying everything orange and sitting in traffic, keeping everyday people late to work, or in some cases blocking ambulances or fire departments and other things. And these are just people that are tired. They're trying to, their life is not easy. They're just trying to do their 9 to 5 to feed their families, to try to just make it to the next day. And then you've got these idiots that I understand protesting and everything like that, but there's a point in time where you start screwing with people that are probably not in a good place, and something's going to happen. And in this case, it did. They say, as climate activists took another intersection to block traffic in what has become one of the several predictable protesting methods, the unthinkable happened when an angered motorist opened fire, ending 2 of the demonstrators. The shocking incident took place in Panama, and images were captured and posted to social media, where the debate unfolded about whether this was not so surprising result of protesters being allowed to physically block traffic with few consequences. For those of you here on Locals, I am going to play the videos. For those of you on YouTube, I cannot because YouTube. So if you do want to check that out, make sure to jump over to Locals to watch more of the content. They say, watch a 77-year-old man ends 2 protesters in Came, causing 2 lives gone. They were protesting a mining contract. I'm going to play this video here quickly. This one doesn't have any sound. For those on YouTube, be right back. Now, what's most telling about this video, the guy's not screaming, he's not raging, he's not red-faced, spittle's not flying everywhere. He's just telling these guys very calmly, you need to move this stuff. And maybe that's why they didn't take him seriously. But he just said, you need to move this stuff. And they didn't, and so he ended them. And afterwards, what did he do? Did he flee? Did he scream? Did he threaten? No, he just waited calmly for the police to show up. He's 77. This is a guy with no F's left to give. And that makes him very, very, very dangerous. People need to understand that in today's society of telling men that they're the root of all wrongs and that they can't be hired if you're white and that you're the cause of all the problems in the world, young men are going to grow up with some very serious problems. And they may have anger issues, but they also may have like very little feelings left. And that makes them very, very harmful for society. And in some ways, I wonder if this isn't part of the design of keeping people from living their everyday lives and taking things away from them and putting men in a bad place so that when they do finally snap and have a bad time, the media, the governments, politicians, everybody can go, look, see? This is another part of the patriarchy, white guy that decided, see how they are evil and they are dangerous, and So we need more laws, and we need to take away your rights, and we need, like here in the United States, your Second Amendment. Oh, you might say something bad. We need to take away your First Amendment. And so it seems like a lot of everything today, and I'll continue the story here in just a moment, but it seems like a lot of everything today is mess with you and mess with you and mess with you until you react. And then when you react, it's see, look at them reacting. They're harmful people. When we were kids, I had a sister. I mean, I still have a sister, and when we were kids, I would mess with her. We would be in the back of the car going somewhere, and I'd scooch my hand over so it was almost touching her leg, almost touching her. And she said, "Mom, Sean's touching me." I'm like, "I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm right here. I'm not touching you." And I would keep messing with her, and I'd keep messing with her until she flew off the handle and would whack me or do something. And she was my kid sister. It's not like she could hurt me. She'd fly off the handle or something and start wailing on me, and I'd start laughing, and I'd be like, see, I didn't do anything to her. I thought it was funny. I found it amusing that I could really just mess with her but not breaking the rules my parents had set, by just messing with her enough, and then she'd go completely, off the wall on me. It was amusing to me. I know it can be used as a tool to get what you want, and I really think that's what's going on in this case, or with these protesters. Because you notice anytime somebody tries to move the protester, get them out of the way, the police stop the person just trying to get to work. They're protecting the protesters. They say several reports offered information about the guy, who was identified as a 77-year-old American lawyer, and the moments leading up to his confrontation with the activists who were reportedly protesting a mining contract. They say disturbing footage showed a man with gray hair and glasses casually approaching the blockade on the Pan American Highway and waving his finger while arguing with the demonstrators before pulling out his long-distance hole puncher and opening fire, the New York Post reported. Other footage shows people standing around the people in the road in the Chame sector of west of Panama City, as well as the gentleman being cuffed and led to a squad car. The paper continued. Police later shared a photo of the suspect handcuffed to a pipe as he was identified as Kenneth Darlington, 77, a lawyer and professor who holds dual citizenship in the U.S. and Panama. So here you've got a very well-educated man, a lawyer, an educator. And the reason why I can say he's well-educated is because he's 77 and he's a lawyer and a teacher. That's way different than the lawyers and the teachers coming out of our, political schools today where they don't teach you about anything but being woke. This guy came from an era where you actually had to be educated, and he lost it. And again, he didn't lose it in a fit of rage or anything else. He just said, that's it, I'm done. What happens when more men say, you know what, that's it, I'm done? What happens, and the good news is, maybe not good news, but you're probably not going to be the one on their radar. It's going to be the people that are screwing with everybody and messing with everybody. Is this a guy that was stoic? Maybe, maybe not. Is this a guy that was that had his head about him? Maybe, maybe not. It's really hard to tell. But I think we are going to see more of this. This is Andy Gassant says the situation unfolded when the 77-year-old man, angered by a roadblock set up by protesters, they kind of say the same thing. I'm going to play this video. Again, you can't see it on YouTube, but you can watch it over here with locals with us. This one does have some audio, and it shows the moment of impact. He just said, I've had enough of you. Bang. I'm done with you. Bang. That's it. And he didn't really, again, it was emotionless. He was just, I think this is a guy that's kind of, dead inside. One of the demonstrators reportedly ended at the scene and another at the hospital. Complete information was not fully available, but several reports identified the guy as Kenneth Darlington. They already said that. And this is the face, obviously, I used on my thumbnail. And you can just see he's not enraged. He's not angry. He's just kind of like, okay, man, well, I guess we'll do this. Footage posted on social media showed the motorist walking from his car, demanding protesters get out of the road. He pulled out the long-distance hole puncher, and somebody said, are you going to end somebody? The gunman replied, you want to be the first. And then I guess he was the first, First guy holding a flag, and the second man went to confront him. Before walking off and removing tree trunks that had been blocking the road, he was then arrested. He also threw a tire off the side of the road. If you've ever seen the movie Fallen Down, I think that is probably perhaps the most accurate. It's a movie about a guy that loses his wife, he loses his kid, things aren't going well at work, and then just one day in traffic, it was just traffic that was that final thing that pushed him off the ledge. Go watch Falling Down. Great movie. And I think it's kind of where we may see more men especially going, because this isn't women don't do this. Women will scream and they'll have, over the top, they'll go protest, they'll go vote. But when men decide to go south, they go a little different direction. Someone else says, this is, or maybe the writers, no, Panama president said this. This is a fact that has no place in society called to be supportive like ours. Read a translation of a post. He says, well, this has no place in a society like ours. Well, does blocking the road for miles and allowing these protesters to drag stuff in the road when just people are trying to live their lives and get their day-to-days done? Matt Walsh says left-wing protesters have been harassing, accosting, and interfering with people's lives with reckless abandon for years. It was only a matter of time before this happened, and I expect it will not be the last time. I agree with him with that. This came during the third week of protests over a large mining contract that allows Canada-based firm Quantum Minerals to operate the region's largest pit copper mine for at least 20 more years, according to the New York Post. Roadblocks have caused $80 million in daily losses to businesses and have shuttered schools nationwide for more than a week. So to allow these protesters to continue, because this is for Save the Earth. This is for no oil. This is for no mining. And what these people don't realize is while they're protesting, they're running cars that need a lot of copper, and they're on phones that require a lot of copper, and they're using power lines that are copper. They're using all these things, but then they're protesting against them. And this is the soft, weak society that we have, not realizing that if you took away the plastic and the oil, well, the oil makes plastic, petroleum makes plastic, you're not going to have plastic, you're not going to have electricity, you're not going to have anything. Do they want to live like, cavemen? If that's the case, great. Go live like cavemen, but you first. You want to depopulate the planet? Great, you first. You start. We'll follow your lead, maybe. Oilfield Rando says this is why getting your ass whooped can be a positive. It teaches you a valuable lesson. You F around long enough, and eventually you're going to F around with the wrong one. And this is maybe this is a crazy take on it, but you know something, when you do have to confront bullies and you get in fights and sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, and maybe you get your ass handed to you once or twice, you start realizing, hey, you know something, maybe I shouldn't get up in this dude's face. He's bigger than me. He's holding a baseball bat. Like there could be a lot of little tells, we like to say, that tell you that maybe getting in somebody's face can be a bad idea. In this case, the guy pulls out a long-distance hole puncher, and not only do they not say, you know what, man, like, we'll back off. Instead of that, they decide to get in his face. Now, I'm not saying that what this guy did was right, but I am saying if somebody shows you that they have the intent to hurt you and you still decide to get in their face, well, something may go wrong, and it kind of did. Matter of fact, Dana Loesch here says, pretty Falling Down-esque. Yes, it is. Someone else says, Time Magazine's Person of the Year. I don't think so. New meme format just dropped, someone else says. A lot of people had different posts on this, different tweets on this, but let's be honest with it, guys. We're getting to a point in time. We're getting to a point in time where men are losing their wives, they're losing their kids, they may be losing their finances if the financial markets drop off a cliff. Inflation is coming to where people can't afford food anymore. And when you look back to the Great Depression and many of the things that happened almost 100 years ago. Back then, people had good morals. They had good character. They were good people. And so when things got rough, they would hold their hat in their hands and they would borrow a little bit of money to feed their family. And in many cases, they would work to pay back the people that helped them. They would sell their furniture. They would oftentimes live on the street, and fathers would skip out eating a meal to make sure that his children had food to eat. That's not what it's going to be like this time around. This time around, people are going to mug each other and rob each other and steal things, and they're going to tear down the very society around them until they get what they want, especially if they have a family and if they have others they're looking out for. But when a man has nothing left, the gas is out of the tank, and he's been told that, his bank account's now empty because of financial collapse, and that they can't hire him because he's too old or too white, and he doesn't have a family, and he doesn't have a wife, and he doesn't have a kids, and he just says, well, I guess we're done here. This is what can happen when you mistreat people. We can talk about history and how all the different groups have been mistreated. But right now, when you mistreat men in general, like there's something wrong with them, and they decided to fall off the rails, is there any surprise to this? I don't know. I thought this was an important story to share because, the way that he just reacted, he was just like, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with the protests. I'm done with the roadblocks. I'm tired. I'm tired of you, and I'm tired of all this. And he just decided, well, I'm going to change this. He had nothing left in the tank. What happens when hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of men have no gas left in the tank? What happens? Do they still are they still selected as bad people and the problem of society, and they need to be fixed? How does that turn out? I don't think it turns out well for anybody, and I don't think the people in charge understand what's probably coming their way. F around and find out. We'll see in the near future. Guys, if you're over here on YouTube, make sure to join me over on Locals. I do, obviously, some segments I can't show here on YouTube. Sometimes I do additional content on the end of the video. Sometimes I have some dating profiles of the day to do. On this one, I don't have anything. This is not really an exciting, fun story. This is just one I wanted to share. I think things are going to get bad, and we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. I'll have another one out for you shortly, and we'll see you in the next one.